Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling Podcast channel. Sorry, this is Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, and I am here today to lay the SmackDown on this week in WWE. So, what we are going to be doing on this show is I'm not going to be going through and doing a complete rundown of every single match by match or segment by segment on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. What I am indeed going to be doing is I am going to be just talking briefly about what happened on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Obviously, this is the Fastlane Fallout edition. As you know, Fastlane was Sunday just gone. And so, yeah, if you want to know more about our thoughts on Fastlane, actually, you will see that there was the Fastlane review and recap show that I did with Scott, Rob, and Lucas over on the RN Pro Wrestling channel. You'll also see that Lucas did his own Fastlane in a nutshell. So that was a short review that Lucas did. That's also over on the RN Pro Wrestling channel. And Scott did the Fastlane Hangover, again, also on the RN Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. So we are going to kick things off today with me talking all about Monday Night Raw. That's right. I will lay the SmackDown on Monday Night Raw this week. So what happened on Monday Night Raw? Well, there were big implications for WrestleMania 37 with 4 matches confirmed and nights were even announced for some of the matches. And nights were also announced for some of the matches that were already announced previously. So we now know, coming out of Raw, that Bobby Lashley will defend the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre on the opening night of WrestleMania. We know that Braun Strowman will indeed take on Shane McMahon. Is Shane going to try and wiggle his way out of this one? Nobody knows. But all we know is that that's been confirmed. We know that Bad Bunny will take on The Miz one-on-one. So just a little update on this match. So apparently it was due to be a tag team match between The Miz and John Morrison, taking on Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. We understand that both Damian Priest and John Morrison are suffering with some minor injuries. So that, at the moment, is why WWE have not announced this as a tag team match. The thought is that they are still going to go with the tag team match, but they just want to wait as late as they possibly can to announce it as a tag team match, just in case one of them can't make it. So that's why they're going with the singles match initially for the announcement. So also we get confirmed that on night 2 of WrestleMania, Randy Orton will take on The Fiend and Asuka will defend the Raw Women's Championship against the debuting Rhea Ripley. Now, surprisingly, Rhea actually mentioned the thing that nobody seems to be acknowledging on TV at the moment. Obviously, the thing that's been keeping fans away from WWE shows and just shows in general, really. Announcing, obviously, that Charlotte Flair has the dreaded COVID-19. So that's why she's not been around on TV. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see this match end up in a triple threat at Mania, to be honest. But But yeah, it was, they had the seeds obviously planting as well for a match between Matt Riddle and Sheamus for the United States Championship. At present, though, nothing for that one has been confirmed one way or the other. And I think, though, overall this week, I think Raw was okay this week. Obviously, I've gone on record previously of saying that I do really think that the 3 hour show for Raw really does hurt it quite a bit, really. But yeah, as I say, that was Raw, really. That was my review of Raw. So I'm going to just quickly go straight in now, and I'm going to lay the SmackDown on everything that happened this week on NXT. So NXT, obviously, we had the sad news that Danny Burch is injured. That's right, Danny Burch, the UK's own Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan forced to vacate their tag team championships as Danny Burch has suffered a separated shoulder. The estimated time for him to be back, we're reckoning, is around, they reckon, 6 months for that injury to fully heal. This NXT show, though, was largely centered around announcing the card for Stand and Deliver. So, yeah, pretty much everything that happened on this show had some sort of implication heading towards that. So, obviously, with Burch and Lorcan being forced to vacate the tag team championships, it was announced that on night one of Stand and Deliver, there will be a triple threat tag team match to determine the new NXT tag team champions. And that will be with MSK, who won the Dusty Cup, taking on the Grizzled Young Veterans and Legado del Fantasma. So all three of those teams will battle. The winners will become the new NXT tag team champions. We also got a confirmation that Finn Balor and Karrion Kross is going to main event night 2 of TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Next week, William Regal has announced that there is going to be, so you need to bear with me with this one. So there's going to be a 12-man battle royal. The final 6 men in that battle royal will earn a spot in a gauntlet match on night 1 of NXT Stand and Deliver. So the order that those 6 men will enter the gauntlet will be the order that they got eliminated from the battle royal. So the man who gets eliminated 6th from the battle royal will be the first man in the gauntlet. The man that gets eliminated 7th will be second man in, etc., etc. So essentially, if you win the battle royal, you become the last person into that gauntlet match. So then what will happen is they will go into the gauntlet match on night 1 of Stand and Deliver. The winner of that match will then go on to night 2 to take on Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. It was also announced that Volta will take on Tommaso Ciampa for the United Kingdom Championship. That sounds like it is going to be one heck of a match. That match is going to be on night 1 of TakeOver Stand and Deliver. It's also announced that the Women's Championship match between Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez will also take place on night 1. So then on night 2, it's announced that obviously Finn Balor will take on Karrion Kross, the North American Championship between Johnny Gargano and the winner of the Battle Royal. The winner of the Gauntlet match subsequent to the Battle Royal. And we will also see the Unified Cruiserweight Championship match between the Cruiserweight Champion Jordan Devlin and the man who they're actually referring to now as the interim Cruiserweight Champion, Santos Escobar. So, following the Jordan Devlin Kushida match on NXT, Jordan Devlin obviously won that. So, Devlin won it when Legado del Fantasma interfered. Shawn Michaels, surprisingly, then came out. Literally, I popped my proverbial tits off for that one. And yeah, as soon as I heard HBK's music, I was like, what the heck? So Shawn Michaels came out, didn't say a word really, just reached under the ring, pulled a ladder out, slid the ladder into the ring in between Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. So essentially, that's signaling that potentially they're going to do a ladder match for this championship. We know obviously Shawn Michaels had a famous ladder match against Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship. That was widely regarded as the first ladder match in WWE. So, I'm sure there's people that will disagree, but that's, I guess, how they are announcing this that particular ladder match. So yeah, and then obviously we had as Shawn Michaels was leaving, he had a face-off with Adam Cole. Could that potentially maybe be teasing for a little something? If rumors are to be believed, then possibly there could be a Shawn Michaels Adam Cole match somewhere down the line. But I'm happy for Shawn Michaels to stay retired now. I don't really need to see him wrestling again. I mean, to be fair, he could even have implications into what followed. So what followed was William Regal overseeing a contract signing between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly for an unsanctioned match at Stand Over, Take and Deliver. So they signed what WWE like to refer to as a hold harmless agreement, which generally means that they are going to do a match that WWE are not sanctioning. So NXT cannot be held accountable should either guy get injured, essentially. I can honestly see something like Shawn Michaels being announced as the special guest referee for this match, but we'll have to obviously wait and see with Stand and Deliver. But yeah, I think overall I thought this episode of NXT was a pretty decent show. In fairness, obviously it had quite a lot of implications really for Stand and Deliver. Most of that card obviously was announced. It wasn't. As I say, it was just really like it just was really so fast paced. Like one thing after another. It was like announcement, match, announcement, match. It's like you could just about keep up, but luckily I managed to make enough notes to actually relay it back to all you guys here. So now comes Friday night's show. This is the Fastlane Fallout show for the Blue brand. So I now get to lay the SmackDan on Friday night SmackDown. That was hard to say. The main focus on this show essentially was the build up to WrestleMania. So obviously, if you see Fastlane or if you didn't see Fastlane, so the main event was Daniel Bryan taking on Roman Reigns with Edge as the special guest enforcer at ringside. So during the match, the referee got knocked down and Daniel Bryan had Roman Reigns locked in the LeBell lock. Roman Reigns tapped out, but there was no official there to actually see that. So Bryan now feels that he rightfully should be the Universal Champion. I nearly said United States there, but I've corrected myself. So as I say, Bryan therefore feels he should be the rightful Universal Champion. He's furious because he made Roman tap out, and Adam Pearce then came out and said that obviously there's nothing they could do. They can't change the result. The referee's decision is indeed final. So bear in mind, this is still the start of SmackDown. It was a super duper long promo segment. It went through an ad break and everything. So Bryan essentially set up a chair in the ring and said that he wasn't going to leave until he got what he wanted, pretty much. A little bit Batista-esque, really. Give me what I want. But obviously not not to that degree, but so Daniel Bryan came up with an interesting suggestion. It was something similar, really, to what I'd suggested on the Fastlane predictions. You can go back and see that on the main Rebellious Noise channel. We've actually got a little clip of that. It was my idea for the 2-night thing where I said that Bryan could maybe do a qualifying match on night 1 and then go into the championship match on night 2. But Bryan's suggestion was over 2 nights was Roman Reigns to take on Edge on night 1 and then Daniel Bryan to face the winner on night 2. They kept saying, no, it's not fair. And then Brian correctly reminded them, he said, oh, so it's fair, obviously, when you're having me wrestle on one night in the Elimination Chamber and then immediately go into a championship match straight after. He's like, is there some like double standards going on here? And so, as I say, this segment went quite like back and forth, and there were multiple segments throughout the night, and Adam Pearce obviously had to make a decision. Edge wasn't too happy about it. He said, obviously he wanted this match to be one-on-one because he'd earned it through the Royal Rumble. So essentially you can see it from both perspectives. Edge has won the Royal Rumble, so he obviously has earned his championship opportunity. Brian feels as though he has made Roman Reigns tap out, which he has done. Obviously not official, no official there to count the submission. And there were, as I say, multiple segments were throughout this night. Roman Reigns had a backstage thing in his locker room with Adam Pearce there, and he essentially told Adam Pearce, well, the Brian idea's out the window. I'm going to wrestle once at WrestleMania. That's it. You've got me for one night. You basically take your pick sort of thing. And then so that led obviously to the very end of the show where Adam Pearce announced that the match would be a triple threat match and it would take place in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. So obviously Brian, if he's going to win the championship now, doesn't even have to beat Roman Reigns. So Brian can beat Edge or Edge can beat Brian to become champion here. We also had on the show Sami Zayn on the KO show, confirming that the trailer for his documentary that he's been filming is going to be airing next week with a special guest of Logan Paul to be in attendance for that. We had the official announcement that the Great Khali and Kane are going to be the next 2 inductees into the Hall of Fame class of 2021. Talking of Kane and Great Khali, interesting fact is that they both actually faced off at WrestleMania 23. Now, I recently sat down to do a retrospective video of WrestleMania 23, which was the first WrestleMania I was in attendance for. There should be a video out for that sometime before WrestleMania. I'm not entirely sure on when it's going to be out, but there is going to be a video out. And obviously, Kane and Great Khali faced off at that WrestleMania. So, just a little fact there for you guys. We also had a confirmation that Seth Rollins will take on Cesaro at WrestleMania. Cesaro did a swing again to Seth Rollins backstage. Seth had already got out of it once when he was in the ring. And then backstage was doing a promo. Cesaro came in, attacked him, and literally swung him around on the floor a few times. I didn't stand and actually count how many it was, but I'm guessing it wasn't quite 22 this time. But I'm sure we're going to see, I think, probably Cesaro look to break his record at WrestleMania for how many times can he swing a person around in the middle of the ring. So that is obviously confirmed for night 1, as is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Night 2, we have confirmed that Kevin Owens will take on Sami Zayn, and the Intercontinental Championship will be defended in a rematch when Big E takes on Apollo Crews on night 2 of WrestleMania. And then obviously we have as previously mentioned, Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. So that is it, everybody. That was me talking to you about this week in WWE, the Fastlane Fallout edition. I've been pleased to sit down and lay the SmackDan for you guys on this week in WWE. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Dan_RepNoise. For now, I've been Dan. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. I will see you next Saturday when I lay the SmackDan on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. Peace out. Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.